Hey everybody, good morning. It's Tuesday morning, about 9:48. Markets have just opened, fairly down. But if you actually look at the charts, it's a bounce, and this kind of thing happens all the time. Where if the market's just opening up too far down to the downside or the upside, you can expect a quick bounce to the other side. So I think that's what we are looking at. My market internals are still telling me that things are weak. Obviously things are weak, but even from this big bounce from 46.41 all the way to 46.64, that's about a 25-point bounce on the Nasdaq. And on the S&P, it's about a 10-point bounce. So, a decent bounce. But it may be a good time to buy puts because this kind of my internals are not telling me that there is strength in the market. It's just indicating that there is perhaps a little bounce, and then most internals are still looking fairly negative. So including the customized indicators. So let me just wait a couple minutes and then see what's going on, and I'll come back. Now, yesterday I did not make a recording. I had many phone calls to talk with various people on the index system. I also have some calls today, and I also have a doctor's appointment at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. So let's see how if we can at least get a couple of trades in and see how we do. Thanks. Yeah, in fact, actually now, you can see that at some point the weakness will probably come back. So let's go look at the SPX options, and let's see, it is at 2061. So $13 at the money option. And let's go for this 29 delta at 2040. So I want to buy 10 of these and create duplicate order. And I'm just going to give the natural price. So, okay. So what we have is the SPX, and there's some issue with the NDX data. I started to make a recording in the beginning to buy the NDX, but it never executed. So anyway, so the SPX is here. The obviously think we got a slightly better price because of paper money, but regardless, we'll discount that later. But I feel that perhaps now, after this little bounce, the entire markets are weak, so there's no question about it. So let's pause it and we'll come back. Okay, it's telling me there's more weakness coming in. So what we're going to do, I want to sort of double down and go. Now, we did have a little bit of an advantage on the earlier fill. So let's say we wanted to buy 10 more, and I want to give the natural price 820. So, but filled at 820, right? Okay, so that's good. And so our trade price is now, mid price is um, 745. It's moving up a little bit. That's okay. We'll see how it is. But I feel the internals are definitely showing weakness today. So any bounce is something that we can take advantage of. I'll come right back. Yeah, definitely like the weakness coming in. I'm going to add another 10 and see how we can take advantage. Of course, we will take off the trade when the internals don't cooperate. But as of now, it looks good. Our average is 7.63, 2,450. Now, this is a point where I will not, hopefully I will not let this profit slip away, because, anything over 2,000 on a trade is great. And so you want to protect it and make sure it's going that way. So let's see how it goes. 2,900. Want to make sure that the internals are matching with what we are doing. As of now, it definitely seems so. So even though there's a little bit of a bounce on the S&P, um, There's a little bit of a bounce on the S&P, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Actually, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Internals are looking pretty good. So let's say, all right, so this is when we move in for the kill, give the match price, another 20 contracts. So we are full on the 50 contracts. The 50 contract size is for an account of about 200K, 50K is what what I'm looking at. And as you can see, that the internals have cooperated well. We've taken the right kind of steps. So I sort of want to step in. Now I might give up some profit here. So I just want to make sure that the internals really still show negative, because if you look at the charts, there seems to be a little bit of a bounce on this particular bar, but I want to make sure to and see what the internals are doing, and then we take the call. So now the other thing you can also do in a situation like this, yeah, as you can see, the profits are going down. So if you look at the option, here we are at this. If we sell the 2035 and make it a debit spread, we're almost going to get 7.2, and our average price on this is 7.94. So, you can make it a debit spread and still have a lot of profit potential and only have a risk of about 60, 70 cents. You could do that. The internals are actually improving right now. So as you can see, even our profit has come down. But overall, I still think it's going to come down. I did give up some of that profit, which I said I wouldn't, but it's just moving a little too fast to take action. So let's see. Let's see. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to leave it like this. It's a good position. It's a nice, solid, big 50 contract. Delta is 1500. So it's a good, solid position. Let's see how we can develop it. Just a quick resume, as you can of the video. As you can see, we gave up the profit. That's because it's just moving too fast, and sometimes when it's moving that fast, it's difficult to get your orders in properly. And so yeah, now we're looking at a little bit of a loss here. I still don't see a lot of strength in the internals. So, sometimes you have to take the heat and, just, wait through this and see if anything changes in a big way, because if it does, then you want to take corrective action. But otherwise, sometimes you just have to take the heat, and which is what we are doing right now. So I'm just going to pause it and keep it at. Okay, so now as you can see, we are back in the plus. Now it did go negative, down about 2000, but it wasn't enough of a negative position to create a hedge. So I have not created any hedge right now. We're just going to let it be as is, and then I've got a few phone calls coming in, so I will come back a little. Okay, 1018, as you can see, the market's rolling down, and this time I do not want to give up this profit, so I'm going to sell perhaps 20. Let's sell 20 at, let's say, 890 and 9. It's the same. Let's give the natural 890, 895. Should get filled, but let's see. Let's just wait and see, because I don't want to give up this profit. In fact, I'll change it to 25 contracts if I can. 25. I don't know why this is not filling again. It should fill. Sometimes this paper, okay, so that filled at 910. That makes sense. So even if we discounted by about 500 bucks because of when we got in, I think we had some advantage. So this is still a profit of about 5,800, and I have 25 contracts more. And let me see what it's doing. There is weakness, so I can continue a little bit more into this position, but I will try to scale out of it now, because it's moving well. So 940, 950, I'll accept 940 if that's what it is. It's actually going up a little bit more. And it should fill somewhere between 940 and 960. So let's just wait and see what happens. It's going very well actually. So I might change it to 15 contracts because it's a good profit. 970. Let's whatever at 950, 960. We can see how to get this done. So yeah, sometimes paper money has some issues, especially when markets are moving very crazily. In fact, it's going down quite a bit. And what at this point, what I would do really is, just try to sell off everything around 10 bucks now, because that's a very good profit. But for some reason, it's not giving a fill. So I don't know why. It's 10.20. I'll reduce the price. I will reduce it to 10 and see how that, because if you see the option chain, it's between 1030 and 1060. So really, this time the paper money is giving us a disadvantage, and usually it doesn't do that. So we are again at 10. The mark is 1025, and I don't know why it's not giving us a fill. Very interesting. Okay, there we go. Sold at 1010. So, that's a reasonable price, and $8,300 dollar profit on this trade. So now I have a couple of calls and everything. So it's good that I got out of this trade. Great trade. First had a little bit of a profit, then gave it up. It was moving too fast, and now the internals were very strongly negative, and so I took it off. And now I think actually now it may bounce back, because the internals are actually showing a little bit of a bounce capability. As you can see, it went down to about 46, 42, and we should have got, at least on the last trade, we should have got like 10.4, 10.5, but we did not get that. Anyway, that's fine. So it equalized our the advantage that we had when we got into the position. So I'm going to pause this here. I've got two calls and things. So and then of course it's lunchtime. So I think, for the morning trade, fantastic. 1 hour, in 1 hour, made a profit of about 8K. And so I'm just going to pause it and look to see if there's any trades in the afternoon. I do have a doctor's appointment as well. Okay, guys, as you can see, the markets are going down even further. So now, the same option is going for 10.8. Unfortunately, I have three calls now, and then lunch and everything. So I'm going to round up this video. But once again, even if we can achieve one or two trades like this a day, you're looking at, fairly good, fairly good return. Now, in terms of the investment, so we had a total of 50 contracts at an average price of, let's say 7.5. So which would mean, that's about 35, 40,000. And out of that, we make, 8,300. So I'm gonna stop this video. As you can hear, I've got calls coming in. So speak to you guys tomorrow. Thank you.